Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk about something that slowly eats away at our dreams, our confidence, and our future: laziness. It is the silent killer that destroys potential before it even has a chance to bloom. But here's the good news. Laziness is not a permanent trait. It is a habit, and like any habit, it can be changed. 1. Laziness is a silent killer. Laziness does not come into our lives suddenly. It creeps in quietly. At first, it makes small excuses. I'll do it later. I don't feel like it right now. And before you know it, days turn into weeks and weeks into months, and you realize that you are stuck in the same place while the world moves forward. If you don't kill your laziness, it will kill your dreams. Every action begins in the mind. If you keep telling yourself that you are lazy, you will start believing it. But if you wake up every morning and tell yourself, I am capable, I am strong, and I am willing to work hard, then your mind will listen. The only thing standing between you and success is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story, and you will change your life. 3 small steps, big changes. People often wait for motivation, but let me tell you something. Motivation is unreliable. If you rely on it, you will always wait for the perfect time, which never comes. Instead, focus on taking small, consistent steps. Want to wake up early? Start by waking up 10 minutes earlier every day. Want to get fit? Start with a 5-minute walk. Small actions, when repeated, lead to massive transformation. 4. Discipline over motivation. What separates successful people from the rest? It's not luck and it's not talent. It is discipline. Successful people do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it. If you rely on feelings, laziness will always win. But if you develop discipline, if you create a habit of doing what is necessary, then nothing can stop you. 5. The pain of regret versus the pain of effort. Think about this. The pain of pushing yourself lasts only for a short time, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. When you look back at your life, what do you want to see? A story of excuses or a story of effort? The choice is in your hands today. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Number 6, your time is your life. Time is the most precious gift you have. Every hour wasted in laziness is an hour of your life gone forever. If you don't value your time, no one else will. Set goals, make a plan, and take action. Even the smallest progress is better than standing still. Conclusion: laziness is a habit, and just like any habit, it can be broken. You are stronger than your excuses. You are greater than your doubts. You have the power to shape your future, and it starts with a single decision: to kill your laziness before it kills your dreams. So my friends, wake up, stand up, and take action, because the world is waiting for the best version of you. Thank you. Laziness is a silent killer, not because it strikes suddenly or dramatically, but because it sneaks into our lives so quietly that we often don't even notice its presence. It starts small: a decision to hit the snooze button one more time, a promise to start working on a goal tomorrow, or an excuse that it's not the right time yet. These seem harmless in the moment, but what we fail to realize is that every time we delay, every time we choose comfort over effort, we are feeding this silent killer. Laziness doesn't always look like lying in bed all day or doing nothing. It can disguise itself as overthinking, convincing us that we need to wait for the perfect moment or more inspiration before taking action. It can come in the form of procrastination, endlessly planning but never starting. It can even show up as distractions, where we keep ourselves busy with unimportant tasks just to avoid doing the real work that matters. And the danger lies in the fact that the longer we entertain these habits, the stronger they become. What makes laziness so destructive is that it robs us not just of our time, but of our potential. Imagine having a dream, something you're passionate about, a goal that excites you, but never getting around to it because you kept waiting for the right mood or enough motivation. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, years have passed. The opportunity you once had may be gone, and the painful realization hits you. It wasn't a lack of talent or resources that held you back. It was your own inaction. The most heartbreaking part about laziness is that it creates a vicious cycle. When we avoid doing something, it doesn't disappear, it lingers in the back of our minds, creating stress and guilt. The more we delay, the heavier this burden becomes, making it even harder to start. We tell ourselves, I've already wasted so much time, what's the point now? And this fuels even more procrastination. The result? We remain stuck, not because we aren't capable, but because we've allowed laziness to paralyze us. But here's the truth. Laziness is not a personality trait. It's a habit, and habits can be broken. It starts with recognizing the small ways it creeps into our lives. Every time you postpone a task, remind yourself that you're not just delaying the task, you're delaying your growth. Every time you choose comfort over progress, remember that you're giving away a piece of your future. To kill laziness, you must realize that every single choice you make matters. There is no perfect time to start. The only time is now. Action, no matter how small, is the antidote to laziness. Whether it's writing a single sentence, doing one push-up, or waking up just 5 minutes earlier, these small acts of effort disrupt the cycle of inaction. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it later," stop. Remind yourself that later is a dangerous lie. The only way to kill laziness is to refuse to let it control your decisions. Your dreams deserve your effort. Your goals deserve your commitment. And your future self deserves a version of you that didn't let laziness win. Our minds are incredibly powerful, more powerful than we often realize. Every action we take, every habit we form, and every success or failure we experience begins with a single thought. The truth is, laziness doesn't start with our bodies refusing to move. It starts with our minds convincing us that we can't, that we're too tired, or that we'll do it later. It is a battle that takes place in the mind long before it manifests in our actions. That's why killing laziness starts with mastering the way we think. Have you ever noticed how the moment you think something is too hard, it suddenly feels even harder to begin? It's because your mind sets the tone for how you approach any task. When you tell yourself, "I'm too lazy to work out," or "I'll never finish this project," you're not just making observations, you're giving instructions to your brain. Your mind listens to these words and adjusts your energy levels and motivation accordingly. In a way, you become what you repeatedly tell yourself. But here's the good news. Just as your mind can trick you into laziness, it can also be trained to push you into action. It all starts with the language you use. Instead of saying, "I'm too tired," shift your mindset to, "I am capable of starting small." Rather than, "I don't feel like doing it now," tell yourself, "I'll just start for 5 minutes and see how it goes." These small mental shifts create momentum. Your brain responds not to how you feel, but to the commands you give it. The key to overcoming laziness lies in realizing that motivation is not something you wait for, it's something you create. People often think they need to feel motivated to start, but in reality, motivation usually follows action, not the other way around. The simple act of beginning, even when you don't feel like it, sends a signal to your brain that you are in control. And once you start, the mind begins to adapt, replacing inertia with energy and hesitation with focus. Another crucial part of mastering your mind is visualizing the end result. When laziness creeps in, it's because the mind focuses on the effort required rather than the reward awaiting at the end. To counter this, shift your focus. Imagine the sense of accomplishment after completing a task. Picture how confident you'll feel after sticking to your routine. By training your mind to focus on the benefits rather than the struggle, you make it harder for laziness to take root. Ultimately, your thoughts shape your reality. If you allow lazy thoughts to dominate, your actions will reflect that. But if you consistently feed your mind with thoughts of discipline, strength, and progress, you create a mental environment where laziness cannot survive. The battle is not in your body, it's in your mind. And every time you choose a powerful thought over a lazy one, you take another step toward the life you want. So remember, the fight against laziness doesn't start with forcing yourself out of bed or making a to-do list. It starts the moment you decide to speak to yourself with strength. Control your thoughts, and you will control your actions. Your mind is your most powerful weapon. Use it to kill your laziness before it kills your potential. When we think about overcoming laziness, we often imagine making big dramatic changes. Waking up at 5 a.m., running 10 kilometers, or working nonstop for hours. But this mindset is what holds many people back. The idea that progress must be massive and immediate creates an all-or-nothing mentality. If we can't do something perfectly, we convince ourselves it's not worth doing at all. This is where laziness finds its way in, not because we're incapable, but because we've set the bar so high that starting feels impossible. The truth is, real change doesn't come from huge, sudden efforts. It comes from small, consistent actions. Every great achievement begins with a simple step. If you want to get fit, you don't need to run a marathon tomorrow. You just need to start with a 10-minute walk today. If you want to write a book, you don't have to finish a chapter in one sitting. Just write a single paragraph. These small steps may seem insignificant at first, but they are powerful because they break the cycle of inaction. Laziness thrives on the idea that if something can't be done perfectly, it shouldn't be done at all. But small steps destroy that excuse. When you tell yourself, "I'll just do 5 minutes," your mind no longer feels overwhelmed. You're no longer staring at a mountain. You're simply taking the first step. And that first step creates momentum. It's easier to keep going once you've started. A 5-minute task often turns into 10 minutes, then 20. Before you know it, you've done more than you thought possible, simply because you began. What makes small steps so effective is that they build confidence. Every time you complete a tiny task, you send a message to your brain, "I can do this." These small wins accumulate. creating a sense of progress and boosting your self-belief. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids work and start viewing yourself as someone who takes action, no matter how small. This shift in identity is crucial because laziness isn't just about what we do. It's about how we see ourselves. When you prove to yourself over and over again that you are capable of starting, you weaken laziness at its core. Another benefit of small steps is that they build discipline without overwhelming you. Discipline isn't built by extreme actions, it's built by consistency. It's not about pushing yourself to the limit once. It's about showing up every day, even if it's for a short time. Over time, these small efforts stack up, creating habits that feel natural rather than forced. Ultimately, the way to kill laziness is not by waiting for the perfect mood or the ideal moment. It's by taking small, deliberate actions every day. Don't focus on climbing the entire staircase. Just focus on the next step. Progress doesn't have to be big. It just has to be consistent. When you embrace the power of small steps, you strip laziness of its power and prove day by day that you are stronger than your excuses. The journey may be slow, but every step forward, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you want. One of the biggest traps people fall into when battling laziness is relying too much on motivation. We often tell ourselves, I'll start when I feel motivated, or I'm just waiting for the right mood to get things done. But the hard truth is that motivation is unreliable. It's a fleeting emotion, coming and going like the wind. If you build your life around waiting for motivation, you will stay stuck in a cycle of inconsistency because there will always be days when you don't feel like doing anything. What truly separates successful people from those who struggle with laziness is not motivation, it's discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up and going for a run not because you're excited to do it, but because you promised yourself you would. It's sitting down to work not because you're inspired, but because you made a commitment to your goals. Discipline doesn't depend on your mood. It depends on your mindset. Think about it this way. Motivation is like a spark. It's great for getting you started, but it's not enough to keep the fire burning. Discipline, on the other hand, is like adding wood to the fire every day, regardless of how you feel. It keeps the flames alive. The people who achieve their goals aren't the ones who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who show up and put in the work even when they don't want to. Discipline is a muscle. And just like any muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. When you push through laziness and choose action over excuses, you are training your mind to become more resilient. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist, telling you to take it easy or do it later. But the more you push back, the quieter those excuses become. Over time, discipline turns into a habit. What once felt hard becomes second nature. The beauty of discipline is that it builds momentum. The first day you push yourself to work without feeling motivated is tough. The second day might still be hard. But by the third or fourth day, you start to notice something. You no longer ask yourself whether you feel like doing it. You just do it. This shift happens because discipline creates consistency, and consistency builds progress. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it boosts self-respect. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your self-trust. You prove to yourself that you are in control, not your mood, not your excuses. This sense of control is what ultimately kills laziness. When you know that you have the power to take action regardless of how you feel, laziness loses its grip on you. So, don't wait for motivation to strike. It's too unpredictable. Instead, build discipline like a muscle. Start small, commit to 5 minutes of work, 1 healthy meal, or a short workout. Push yourself a little more each day. Soon you'll realize that you no longer need to feel motivated to take action. You just do it because discipline has become a part of who you are. And that is how you kill laziness. By choosing consistency over comfort and discipline over fleeting motivation. In life, there are 2 types of pain we all experience: the pain of effort and the pain of regret. The pain of effort is temporary. It's the discomfort you feel when you push yourself to wake up early, work on a project, or stick to a workout routine. It's the struggle of stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something even when you don't feel like it. This pain might last for an hour, a day, or maybe even a few weeks, but it always fades. What's left behind is progress, growth, and a sense of accomplishment. On the other hand, the pain of regret is much deeper and lasts much longer. It's the sting you feel when you realize you wasted time, let opportunities slip away, or didn't give your best effort when you had the chance. It's looking back and thinking, I wish I had started sooner, or if only I had tried harder. Unlike the pain of effort, regret doesn't fade quickly. It lingers, gnawing at you because you can't go back and change the past. The tricky thing about laziness is that it often disguises itself as comfort. In the moment, it feels easier to skip the gym, to postpone that important task, or to spend hours scrolling through your phone instead of working on your goals. But what feels comfortable now often leads to discomfort later. When you avoid the short-term pain of effort, you invite the long-term pain of regret into your life. Think about it. The workout you avoided might have been the first step toward a healthier you. The book you didn't write might have been the one that could change your career. The skill you didn't learn might have opened doors to new opportunities. Every time you choose laziness over effort, you are planting seeds of regret for your future self. But here's the important part. The pain of effort is not just temporary, it's also meaningful. Every time you push yourself, you're not just building a habit or reaching a goal, you're building character. You're proving to yourself that you can overcome laziness, that you are stronger than your excuses. This sense of accomplishment fuels more action. It turns discipline into a habit and makes the next step feel a little easier. The pain of regret, however, offers no such reward. It only leaves you wondering what could have been. And the harsh reality is that time doesn't stop. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, a year has passed. The question is, will you look back on this time with pride because you embraced the pain of effort, or will you be weighed down by the pain of regret? The choice is always yours. Yes, pushing yourself is hard. Yes, discipline is uncomfortable. But so is living with the constant ache of knowing you could have done more. The pain of effort may hurt now, but the pain of regret will haunt you later. So, when laziness whispers that you can put it off until tomorrow, remind yourself of this. The temporary discomfort of doing something today is far better than the lifelong regret of never having tried at all. Choose effort over excuses. Choose progress over comfort. Choose the pain that builds you, not the one that breaks you. Time is the most valuable resource we have, yet it is also the most easily wasted. Unlike money or material things, time cannot be earned back once it's gone. Every second that passes is a piece of your life slipping away, a piece you can never reclaim. This is why understanding the true value of time is essential in killing laziness. When you waste time, you are not just losing minutes or hours. You are losing opportunities, growth, and moments that could have shaped your future. Laziness often tricks us into believing that there's always later. Later to start a project, later to work on our goals, later to become the person we want to be. But later is a dangerous lie. The truth is, time doesn't wait. While you sit back and procrastinate, the world moves forward. The people who take action today, even in small ways, get ahead. Those who wait for the perfect moment stay stuck in the same place. What many don't realize is that every choice we make about how we spend our time is a choice about how we spend our lives. Consider this: if you waste an hour scrolling through social media when you could have been working on a goal, that's not just an hour lost. It's an hour of progress, an hour of growth, and an hour of potential that you've traded for temporary comfort. Imagine if you did this every day. How much further behind would you be in a month, a year, or even 5 years? Laziness doesn't just steal your time, it steals your future. On the other hand, when you start valuing your time, everything changes. You begin to realize that every small action adds up. Spending 30 minutes reading a book every day may not seem like much, but over time, it can transform your knowledge and mindset. Working on your goals for just an hour a day may feel small at first, but those hours accumulate, leading to real progress. When you take control of your time, you take control of your life. One of the most effective ways to overcome laziness is to become aware of how you are spending your time. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now bringing me closer to the person I want to be? Is this moment being used wisely, or am I allowing laziness to steal it from me? These questions create a sense of urgency, a reminder that time is not endless and every moment counts. It's also important to set clear priorities. Not everything deserves your time and attention. Focus on what truly matters: your goals, your growth, and your well-being. When you align your time with your purpose, laziness has no room to exist. Ultimately, killing laziness starts with respecting your time. Every minute is a building block of your future. Wasting time may feel easy now, but the regret of lost time is a heavy burden to carry later. Choose to invest your time wisely, in learning, in creating, and in becoming the best version of yourself. Because when you value your time, you value your life. And a life built on purposeful actions will always outshine a life lost to laziness. Good morning. Today, I want to talk about something that silently holds many of us back from reaching our full potential: laziness. It doesn't announce itself loudly or make a dramatic entrance. Instead, it creeps in quietly, disguising itself as harmless procrastination, as the comforting thought of, I'll do it later. But the reality is, laziness is not just about avoiding work. It's about delaying our dreams, our growth, and ultimately, our success. Let's break this down in a way that helps us not just understand laziness, but conquer it step by step. First, we must recognize that laziness is not a personality trait. It is a habit. Many people label themselves as just being lazy, but that's not true. Laziness is a pattern of repeated inaction built over time. The good news? Just like any habit, it can be broken. It starts with self-awareness. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, pause for a moment and ask yourself, why am I avoiding this task? Is it fear of failure? Is it the discomfort of hard work? Identifying the reason behind your laziness gives you the power to address it directly. Second, we need to understand that the mind is where the real battle happens. Laziness begins in our thoughts long before it affects our actions. When you tell yourself, I'm too tired, or I don't feel like it, you are giving instructions to your brain. The brain listens and your body follows. But the mind can also be trained. Instead of saying, I'm too lazy to start, shift your thinking to, let me work on this for just 5 minutes. This small mental shift tricks your brain into action because starting is often the hardest part. Now let's talk about small steps, a simple but powerful tool against laziness. Many of us feel overwhelmed because we focus too much on the end goal. For example, if you want to write a book, the thought of completing hundreds of pages can feel impossible. But what if you just wrote one sentence today? One small action creates momentum. When you consistently take small steps, you build confidence and discipline without feeling overwhelmed. Over time, these steps compound, leading to significant progress. Another crucial concept is understanding the difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is unreliable, it comes and goes. If you wait to feel motivated, you may never start. Discipline, however, is the habit of doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Successful people don't rely on motivation, they rely on routines and systems that keep them consistent. If you want to kill laziness, stop waiting for the perfect mood and start building the habit of showing up daily, even if it's for a short time. Perhaps the most impactful lesson is recognizing the pain of effort versus the pain of regret. The pain of effort is temporary. It's the struggle of waking up early, studying, or pushing through a workout. It fades as soon as the task is done. But the pain of regret lasts much longer. It's the ache of lost opportunities, of looking back and wishing you had started sooner. When you feel lazy, remind yourself, would you rather experience the short-lived pain of effort or carry the lifelong weight of regret? Finally, time is your most valuable resource. Every minute you waste on laziness is a minute you steal from your own future. Time cannot be earned back. It moves forward, with or without your effort. The most successful people in the world are not those with more time, they are those who value their time. If you truly want to kill laziness, start by treating your time like the precious, non-renewable resource it is. So today, I challenge you, recognize laziness for what it really is, a thief of your potential. Train your mind to push past excuses. Take small, consistent steps. Rely on discipline, not fleeting motivation. Choose effort over regret. And most importantly, value your time. Because in the end, your future self will either thank you for the actions you take today or resent you for the time you wasted. The choice is yours. Thank you.